Isn't just international by name, as there you see him, die hard, Eddie Edwards, one half of the American Bulls, and one of the finest young talents in the whole of the world today. The Ring of Honor World Television Champion is live here in IPW UK.
Eddie Edwards! Eddie Edwards! Eddie Edwards!
And ladies and gentlemen, introducing his opponent.
Mark Haskins.
He is a former British Tag Team Champion and a former Cruiserweight Champion. Ladies and gentlemen, he is the Star Attraction
Who would have thought that Star Attraction would be receiving a warm reaction here in IPW UK rings? But over the past 12 months, the Star Attraction, since losing the British Cruiserweight Championship gold to the Lion Fist at last year's King of the Hall, the Star Attraction has matured and progressed as a performer with 3 successful tours at Dragon Gate Japan under his belt. The Star Attraction is now one of IPW UK's finest homegrown exports, and tonight, 2 Globetrotters go head to head as Eddie Edwards, a regular for Pro Wrestling Noah, a regular for Ring of Honor, goes one-on-one with the Star Attraction, Mark Haskins. And what an international challenge match this promises to be, and just another example of why IPW UK is the #1 promotion in Europe today.
Come on, steady Eddie! Haskins! Eddie Eagle!
Time and time again, we talk about how IPW UK lets our wrestling do the talking, and right now is just another one of those occasions as it's Haskins and it's Edwards. The bell has sounded and it's go time.
Come on! No, do it now! USA! USA!
A nice sign of respect from both men. I say how times change. You would have seen that from Mark Haskins 1 year ago. Tie up now. Both men jockeying for position. Haskins comes out on top.
1, 2, 3, 4, break it, come on, Haskins.
Waits till 4 but gives Edwards a clean break. And what Mark Haskins did just then was perfectly legal, working within the rules, working within referee Chris Roberts' 5 count. Both men tie up once more. This time Eddie Edwards takes the arm. As I mentioned, Eddie Edwards is one half of the American Wolves and the current reigning Ring of Honor World Television Champion. So victory here for Mark Haskins is a big deal. Takes down Edwards with a drop toe hold, but Edwards quick to reverse into a front face-up before going behind with a waist-up and reverting back to that front face-up. Both men very much feeling each other out here in the early process, with neither man really gaining a steady advantage. Hammerlock applied now by Eddie Edwards. well. The armbar. As he finds his way out, coming up into the side headlock. Now Haskins looking for a release, uses the ropes to help him out, but Eddie Edwards knocks down Mark Haskins with a big shoulder block. It's been so quick that Haskins caught Eddie Edwards in midair with that deep arm drag takedown. And once more, goes to work on the arm of the American Wolf. And that's a smart tactic from Mark Haskins, because I should mention that Eddie Edwards is just coming off the separated shoulder. He did that in winning Ring of Honor's Survival of the Fittest tournament. They call Eddie Edwards Die Hard for a reason. That man once competed in a tables, ladders and chairs match with a broken arm. Haskins leaps over. Waits for a pinning combination, can only warrant a 2 count on that occasion as Eddie Edwards cuts him off. It's so much that Haskins uses Eddie Edwards' own momentum against him. And now is Mark Haskins, the Star Attraction going to fly! And Eddie Edwards moves out the way, and Haskins managing to almost stop himself in midair, landing onto his feet. Very wise there from Mark Haskins, managing to land on his feet in midair there. Getting all kinds of trouble. Look at Eddie Edwards there, favouring that shoulder. We're talking about the pressure pads on the shoulder of Edwards. Not really sure if he's 100% just yet. Because Eddie Edwards didn't want to turn up the opportunity of competing in IPW UK. Circling each other once more. Eddie Edwards, I think he's had enough of wrestling. He just went for a straight headbutt, and now all over Mark Haskins. This contest needed something with both men's wrestling nullifying each other, and Eddie Edwards has decided to take the first step. Snapmare takedown there from the American Wolf, drops a knee. Eddie Edwards, one of the finest wrestlers, following up on his offensive maneuvers. He's not going to allow his opponent to breathe. He sends Haskins off the ropes. For leveling him with a clothesline, just leveling him. The contest has turned into the favour of the American Wolf now. The visitor from overseas, that Haskins fighting back. Before getting cut off again from the American Wolf with a big chop across the chest from Edwards. Sends Haskins into the corner. The Irish whip into the corner. Haskins this time moves out the way. Haskins looking to fasten the pace. Uses the ropes for the assist with the drop kick. Lateral press can only get a 1 count. Eddie Edwards still fresh, still very much in this contest. And we saw it was Eddie Edwards who tried to slow the pace, perhaps suggesting that he doesn't think he can match the Star Attraction for pace. Something which Mark Haskins is finding now. He's been all over the world touring with Dragon Gate. Is people now know who he is. They've scouted him. There's more tapes available of him, which makes his job all the more harder. And there you go. Look at this. Haskins. That is gonna hurt. And for all of Eddie Edwards' ability as a scientific, technical wrestler, there was nothing scientific about that whatsoever. Just a straight kick to the spine.
3, 4.
Boot to flesh to bone. The impact took Haskins off the apron onto the floor outside, and Eddie Edwards going to follow up now, targeting that back with a power slam onto that hard, unforgiving floor. No pretty protective mats on the outside of the ring there, and Haskins will now have to the count of 10 to get himself back into the ring. I think Eddie Edwards will take a count out. Attraction. Eddie Edwards looks like he's going to take it any way he can. But Haskins, fight of a champion, fighting his way back into the ring. And Edwards now targeting that lower back of Haskins. And look at this, a chin lock applied, but look at the knee of Eddie Edwards. That knee firmly into the spine of Mark Haskins. Eddie Edwards knows exactly what he's doing. He found his opening, and now he's targeting that lower back of Mark Haskins. Look at that pinpoint elbow to the skull. The Star Attraction, and now the camel clutch applied. And look, Eddie Edwards yanking back at the jaw and neck of Mark Haskins, but look at the position of that lower back. Some less than sportsmanlike tactics in the American War. Looks like he's doing whatever he can to win this contest now. Recognises the gravity of the situation. Firmly in control of the Star Attraction. And look at that, we saw Haskins reaching for that bottom rope, and what does Eddie Edwards do? He just captures that hand and uses it against Haskins. That Haskins managed to find his way to that bottom rope. Eddie Edwards went to pick him up. Haskins is pushing his hand away. Fire back from the Star Attraction. With right hand, Edwards retaliates with one of his own. Haskins with a forearm now. And once more, Edwards retaliates. And watch out, Haskins, because here comes, well, say here comes Edwards, there goes Edwards. As Haskins catches a fist, hits Edwards with a forearm, and he went for a kick to a mid-armor. Haskins went for a kick to the midsection, and Eddie Edwards caught the leg before almost dragon screwing it across that bottom rope. Mark Haskins in a world of hurt right now. He's stuck with nowhere to go, and Eddie Edwards knows this fact. Drop kick targeting at the knee, similar to the way in which Eddie Edwards pinpointed the back when he found his opening. He's targeting that knee now of the Star Attraction. Eddie Edwards is very much a master of the game of human chess. Sound strategy from Eddie Edwards. And look at Mark Haskins, you can tell he's hurt with that bottom leg on the outside of the ring. That in normal wrestling circumstances means that Edwards has to cause some separation. There needs to be a break here. Look at this, the ruthlessness now on display of Eddie Edwards. Natural press once more.
Shoulders up, hands up.
Tied up once more. As I said, Eddie Edwards really targeting that leg of Mark Haskins, and Mark Haskins knows he's in trouble, reaching once more. That bottom rope, and look at that. You saw clean breaks earlier on, and that's a contest to progress. Eddie Edwards has progressively got dirtier and dirtier. That kick, that unclean break from the American Wolf. Eddie Edwards perhaps realising he needs to get ruthless. If he's going to beat the Star Attraction, he's going to beat the challenge put in front of him here at IPW UK. Brawl at the Hall, a world-class matchup for a world-class night of pro wrestling action. Haskins, oh my! Haskins went for a crossbody. Look at the weight. Eddie Edwards caught the leg, and the STF now applies from Eddie Edwards. And Haskins may be forced to submit. He's reaching. He's clearing that bottom rope. Mark Haskins is in all kinds of trouble, and finally, Mark Haskins finds a release. And how opportunistic was Eddie Edwards catching that leg in mid-air. Now he takes Haskins with a waist lock. Three elbows to the side of the skull later from Haskins before Edwards cuts him off with a smash to the lower back. But Haskins was through to his feet that favoured that leg, and that allowed Edwards to cut him off with a chop. But Haskins sucking it in, hits the ropes on. Called off guard with a Yakuza. Was Mark Haskins, and there it is. The flying elbow from Haskins. That may have been everything he had. Now Haskins, it's gut check time. He needs to suck it up. Haskins shaking out that leg. He hits the ropes, and Mark Haskins flies to the outside of the ring, and down goes Eddie Edwards.
Haskins getting in the ring, let's go. Get it inside.
Come on, Haskins.
1, 2, 4.
It looks like on that occasion, the high-risk manoeuvre paid off with a Star Attraction. He's fighting his way back into the ring now. Well, he went for a springboard, Edwards caught him off. Haskins with a forearm, using the ropes now from the top, and this time the high cross body was successful, connected. 2 count only, and it was that high cross body which nearly led to Haskins' downfall earlier on, where Edwards just kicked him out the air. But second time lucky for Star Attraction, who's now in a great position to finish this encounter. But Edwards through to his feet. Haskins down to one knee and finds an escape with the waistlock. Edwards finds his distance, and Haskins once more has Edwards up onto his shoulders before driving Eddie Edwards, the American Wolf, down to the canvas. Cover. Eddie Edwards kicked out. He's going to take a lot to put Edwards away, but he's also going to take a lot to put the Star Attraction away, as both men leaving it all out here. Haskins now perhaps looking for that shooting star press, but Edwards caught him off guard. Three right hands there from the Star Attraction over. Eddie Edwards cut him off. Now what's Edwards looking for right now? He's got him up in the package. It's a backpack maneuver, but Eddie Edwards caught Mark Haskins with a leg lariat. And look at the look of pain on the face of Eddie Edwards. Edwards now beckoning the Star Attraction through to his feet, and Haskins breaks the arms away and responds with a forearm, and Edwards with one of his own, and both men now just slugging it out with each other. We've seen both men go through the motions in this matchup. It starts as a technical matchup. Eddie Edwards showed some signs of aggression. Now Mark Haskins showing the heart and fighting spirit. Cuts off Edwards with a big boot. And now Haskins from a second roll called off with a big kick to the side of the skull. And Edwards once more looking for that backpack driver. And this time nails it, and surely that's all she wrote for the Star Attraction. Let's take Haskins kicked out. What spirit once more from the Star Attraction. Both men working their way back to their feet. And Eddie Edwards now, look at the look on his kisser. He's wondering what it's going to take to put Mark Haskins away. And he targets him and nails Mark Haskins. Comes off the ropes again, but Haskins caught him off guard with a forearm. And Edwards with one of his own. Neither man giving the other a chance to breathe, but a big super kick. Haskins ducks out a clothesline attempt, nips up, catches the arm. Reverse Hurricane Rana from the Star Attraction. Hits him with the knee, super kick. What a combination from Haskins. And Mark Haskins upset mode. And just when you thought it was time to count out the American Wolf, he kicks out of the last. It's a crowd now getting behind the Star Attraction, getting behind their fellow countrymen. As Haskins now saying it's over, perhaps gonna look back, cradle to the grave, tombstone pile driver, but Eddie Edwards is down. And Haskins now, that's what he's going for, the cradle to the grave. Oh, but Edwards kicks out. He goes that leg once more. The half Boston Crab applied, and that's the same leg that Eddie Edwards targeted earlier on in his contest. Eddie Edwards so wisely going back to that leg, which has sustained so much punishment, and Haskins may have no option but to submit. He gets to the bottom rope, does Mark Haskins. And look at that, Haskins, full package, no! And Haskins sucking it up once more, but Edwards moves out of the way. Kick to the back of the skull. Eddie Edwards has found so much success with those kicks, and now from the top rope gets crotched. Haskins with the drop kick crotches Eddie Edwards, and now Eddie Edwards in a tree of woe with nowhere to go apart from the arms of Mark Haskins, and from the cradle to the grave. And Haskins, yes, he got it. What an athletic wrestling contest, and once more I sound like a broken record, but that was indeed pro wrestling at its best. As the Star Attraction Mark Haskins overcame all the odds. He overcame an early back injury. He overcame the work which Eddie Edwards put in on that leg. He sucked it in when it was gunship time, and Mark Haskins has defeated Ring of Honor's World Television Champion. What a huge feather in the cap of Mark Haskins in 2010 has really been his year. Haskins now fireballing Eddie Edwards. Telling him he overcame all the odds. Edwards wants no piece of Haskins. Tense situation here. But Haskins almost saying, yeah, you look at that, a sign of respect from both men. That's what I like.